Well, parents across Missouri outraged over their children's public school policies, allegedly allowing teachers to hide private conversations with students about things such as academics, race, or gender without parental consent or knowledge. Joining us to discuss is Missouri parent of three and Missouri chapter president for No Left Turn in Education, Andy Wells. Andy, welcome to National Report. Thanks so much for being here. We do appreciate
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So let me just source this story really quickly. The school policy states this, quote, there are many situations where school employees will meet with individual students. These conversations are an essential part of the educational process. The district will not honor requests by parents/guardians to be informed prior to these discussions, be present during the discussions, or prohibit conversations between a student and a staff member, end quote. Can you break this down for us? And how did you find these policies?
It was actually by accident. I was going to help another group of concerned parents that were fighting against some books they didn't particularly care for in their school library. And on the agenda, I saw this policy that this school was contemplating about putting into their student handbook. And when I read it, it concerned me a lot because I'm the parent. I choose whether or not somebody has a private conversation with my children. Parents should have that authority, not the school's blanket policy of we can say whatever we want to your kids and you have no authority over it.
And just to be clear, as far as being anecdotal, it is not. This is the same policy, if you look at it, for more than 200 schools in Missouri, in that state there. Again, 214 school districts in Missouri have the exact same policy there implemented here. Again, from the Missouri School Board Association. So this isn't one school that we're talking about. Have you heard have you heard any outrage from other parents about this situation, much like yourself?
When I first started looking at this, initially I found 68 school districts. And so I went, talked with some media, a story came out, and then all of a sudden I started getting phone calls and messages and emails from other parents. Hey, wait, this is in my district. This is in my district. So after going back and doing more research, I found it's in 213 right now as a policy. There is one school district that is supposed to be voting on it to put it into policy next month. Now, this originally came out in the summer of 2020, right when parents were first waking up to what's going on in my kid's school and the whole outrage, parents at home asking questions. Then this policy comes out that they can have private conversations. It seemed a little nefarious to me.
I kind of wanted to ask you, why do you think these policies would be implemented? If you don't want parents involved in, quote, private conversations between school officials and children and students, it kind of implies there's something to hide. Do you feel that way?
I believe more than 99% of the teachers are absolutely. The conversation about, hey, little Johnny, you're struggling in your math, you need to work on your algebra, whatever, questions like that, those conversations aren't my issue. But if you look across the United States, there are multiple incidences of nefarious conversations happening, conversations that have made national news about gender identity, sexual orientation. 135 teachers in a 132-day period were brought up on charges of child abuse or sex abuse. So when I start looking at those numbers, it's not a lot of the teachers, but I still have to worry, are some of the teachers using a policy like that to have conversations? And I've already been contacted by teachers or by parents in the state of Missouri that are contemplating legal action because of what the conversations that were said with their students behind closed doors.
Well, I appreciate you sharing that information. Really quickly, if there are parents perhaps watching in Missouri, or maybe their children are in those districts, how can they perhaps get a hold of you or your organization?
No Left Turn in Education.us is our national webpage. I encourage everybody to go on there, sign up. We send out a monthly newsletter. We're also on Facebook, No Left Turn in Education, Missouri.
All right, Andy
and
Wells.
that is our state Facebook page.
Andy Wells joining us live on the program. Andy, good to see you. Thank you for your time.